So it's SmallTourneysAOE2 second semi-final in the gold division here. We have Chuggles versus Sithari. With Sithari with the Mayans here and Chuggles going for the Persians. And I'm seeing something I've never thought of here in Mines, to take one ship with one of the villagers and then just build houses with the remaining three. That certainly head starts your food eco a little bit. I never actually thought of that, but that's brilliant. Probably something people do and I just didn't know about. Mayans, obvious Arabia pick. Still, the resources last longer, they have cheaper archers, and they have unique technology for the Eagle Warriors as the Imperial Age comes in, which you can resource as a castle, giving your Eagle Warriors a total of 100 hit points, which makes them strong against archers. Most likely not going to come into play against Persians, unless the Persians go for mass trash bows. But in the event of a trash wars, you wouldn't really have gold for any Eagle's transition anyway, so I don't think that's a likely scenario. Persians, however, have knights with a... isn't it a +2 against archers? Knights +2 attack towards archers. That's the team bonus for Persians. And they have a commander on the unique tech from Cast Age, giving archers or crossbows a no gold cost. You'd have only wood spent for them. That's a very good addition to have to your cavalry to snipe enemy infantry units like halberdiers to counter your cavalry. So that could be a very good late game combo for Chuggles here with the Persians. Having a look at the maps here, there's side gold in the back for Chuggles, there's a backstone, there's another back gold, easily secured with just a piece of walling to the side here. Main gold is slightly more of an issue, but then there's still this woodland here to be balled in between, and then natural barriers towards the edge here. Yeah, looks like a decent full wall to secure, so to say, all resources here. Great news for Chuggles for this map. Going to Sithari's side, we had the main gold a little bit more to the forward, but then again a side gold in the back here. I think the wall off would have to happen on this side. I think it's the plan already for Sithari, unless this is, well, at least commencing a little bit of a wall here. And then on the left side, it's a larger gap to plug, but it's not impossible either. Maybe you want to include the hill here. Has to scout the corner here just to make sure no cavalry units sneak in here, but that's probably not going to be a concern for, because the walls might very well go up here from the current scouting of Sithari. 4 on wood, as is customary for archers, civilizations, and builds, whereas Chuggles goes with 3 on wood here. Very indicative of a scouts opening from the Persians here. So could justify 20 pop scouts with Persians, I think. Sithari already forward at the 5th minute to try and gather some intel here on what's going on. Finds the location and pulls back for now, maybe. Now goes around just to get a grasp of the resources of the enemy over here. But I think it's definitely scouts for Chuggles here to open. Bit of a wall off to begin here already. That's dangerous. That's an unknown villager. Could die to the eagle here. Yeah, rip villager. Yeah. That's going to obstruct the start of Chuggles here. Tries for some quick walls, but it's just too late here, unfortunately. Good pick off for Sithari here, getting a 1 villager lead now as Chuggles pulls the scout cab back. In return now, Chuggles could in theory pick off this eagle, which is already weakened, and the scout with less attack should still win this fight, I think, simply because of the hit points loss. So a bit of a setback here. We see the Dark Age walling from Sithari here, going for the barracks, so it's going to be an infantry style opening here, most likely men at arms. And then I think we might see full walls in place before Chuggles can get the scouts to the enemy base here, unfortunately. Rex goes up for the Persians player as well, but that's the feudal age kicking in. I was speculating men-at-arms for Mayans here, but it's actually going to be kind of late for men-at-arms. It's a 23 pop, so not men-at-arms after all, probably going to be the archers here. Straight archers. Yep, 3 on gold on the way to feudal age. Definitely an archer's build here. Ranges might go up on the side here, maybe even on the hill. Six on wood for Chuggles for the time being. Rest of the villagers committing to walling here. That's some extensive walling to the front of the base. Here comes the stable. And what's the scouting like though? Let's see if the general overview here supports. Yeah. Shouldn't be a problem to full wall here as needed. Eagle Scouts dodges TC fire here. That's an ideal TC time for Chuggles. One militia. No, they are militia after all. They might justify men-at-arms here as well with 3 of them forward. Yeah, Scout in trouble here now. There's going to be more scouts for Chuggles, I assume. There's the second one. Needs to react over here though, but that's a weak Eagle Warrior and pulling them towards the TC. Damage potential is limited here, but some quick walls or some kind of obstruction should be coming up on the berries here just to make sure we don't take any unnecessary damage here. Scouts doing work, one farm just to... I don't know what that farm was about. Men-at-arms doing work here now though, one villager almost down, could die here, that's just 2 more hits, but yeah, looks like it's alright. Men-at-arms going down, one another scout goes down, the villager count is very worrying for Chuggles at the moment. Down 5 villagers against the Mayans opponent here. Also, if you want to know the rank of the players, their current rank, exclamation mark rank and the player's nickname or exclamation mark elo and the player's name should work in chat. More walls going up here. Will Chuggles extend to the side as well? That's some comeback potential if Chuggles can full wall here, because the Persian TC does work. What is it, 10-15% faster after all. I think the mediocrity, I think it's an 4, number 4 and not... Yeah, Townsend work 10% faster for Persians. Here's the range for Chuggles. It makes sense. You'd want skirmishers against the archers forward and also to protect your own units. I like the attention to detail over here, that there's one tile gap to the edge of the map, something that Chuggles has scouted over here and will be addressing later on, just to make sure there won't be any sneak in. Pretty slow development so far though, both players walling off at home, some spears at the ready for Sithari here just in case, but there's not really too much army, only 1 military left for Chuggles here, not really any real damage potential here. So pretty extensive walling for both of them. It's a decent wall over here, but you could even justify walling towards the woodline and to the edge here to secure even a little bit more of the map for Sithari here, but they are decent walls nevertheless. Last palisade in place. Here comes even a house to fortify that side of the map, so you don't need to quick wall that later on. Wheelbarrow is coming for Chuggles. That's also... Wheelbarrow will come in quicker for Persians, coming in pretty early here, or not early, but at 14 farms. But it does research 10% faster for Persians. And the overall villager number is down, yes, but that's also because of the DC researching Wheelbarrow and Chuggles slowly but steadily setting up for the age transition here. It's going to be the Mayans going first to the castle age here, though. It's there's only roughly 20 gold missing here now for Sithari, but not so much army. Barely any archers in production yet. One range, no archers full up, losing the initial men-at-arms. Double palisades to the side here, that's a nice precaution against cavalry units forward from Sithari here. In the event that any knights or anything come forward here, they'd have a rougher time breaking through double sets of walls. Market blacksmith going up, but the market range is more than enough to get to that castle age click. Obviously, 60% lead now. Persians will research the age a bit faster, but gold lacking a little bit for Chuggles here, so it's still going to be a pretty significantly later castle age here at the cost of falling behind in villagers as well. Once castle age is in, Sithari will have freed up the TC to increase the villager count. We'll be looking at maybe a 7 villager lead at the point where Chuggles reaches the castle age here. Small forward here with archers, soon to be crossbows. Chuggles with only 1 military here, but doesn't seem like any of the eco of Chuggles is within archers range here. Maybe crossbows once it kicks in, but this isn't going to be an easy break-in. Defensive, preemptive, defensive tower here from Chuggles makes sense just in case these become crossbows and manage to break through. You'd have that tower to fortify your defenses a little bit, and lacking army you need something to fire against the archers. It is some idle time, but Chuggles is on the way to the castle age, going into bloodlines now. For the cavalry is going most likely to go for double stable knights production here. Crossbows now in the mix. Scout noticing some reinforcements here. Knights in the queue for Chuggles. One palisade gate is down, but is still going to keep the aggression out for now. There are some skirms in the queue here. Is the range providing anything here? Is still only 1 military for Chuggles here. Something that could be an issue. Looks like they're going heavily into... No, not that heavily. 5 on stone now. Watsu get a defensive castle up. But the crossbows break through here in addition to some pikes, so this could be a bad hit on Chuggles' economy here. I'm a bit worried about the army numbers here. It's 21-4 for Sithari here, and also Sithari has that economy lead with multiple TCs as well, whereas the Persians player is committed to 1 TC. That does facilitate more consistent knights production and could mass units more easily than when going into multiple TCs. You have the Persian TC working a little bit faster as well, but you will be falling behind in builders as long as the enemy goes with 2 TCs and consistent production, which is admittedly an issue. But here comes the second TC for Persians as well. That opens for the possibility of catching up in villager numbers simply because your TCs work now 15% faster. Knights have +1 for now, no attack, but they have that bonus attack against archers. You'd need more numbers to contest this ball of archers, though. They have Bodkin Arrow in, so that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, should be able to reach that woodland. Good reaction from Chuggles here, pulling all of the wood choppers away to drop a TC on this woodland instead. Not bordering too much of the woodland here, but will for sure protect it from enemy forwards here. Here we go, only single palisades on this side, so that's going to leave the crossbows with an opening to enter. There's 7 military against 28 now for Chuggles. Knights are chilling out on this side, they have the +2 now. Could engage against archers, and this TC is also limiting aggression here, so good TC positioning from Chuggles on this side, covering this gold now, even gathering a little bit of food boost from the hunt here. There is the forward siege from the Mayans player though, seems consistent with the forward push here. Attacking, retaliating, attacking, retreating. Not taking unnecessary losses either of those players here. It's 4-4 KD. Knights numbers should be increasing for Chuggles as well, but from the looks of it, only one stable producing knights for now. Lots of gold in the bank, lacking a lot in the food department, so that's never a good sign when you want to go for consistent knights production. The defensive tower helps out quite a bit here. Limits the crossbow's aggression again, but now there's a mangonel in the mix, and that could reach this watchtower right here. Looking at the eco disposition of Sithari here as well, looks 18, 18, and 10 here, and 16 on stone. Wants to get a castle down, most likely forward here to deny an access. Could go on this hill as well, just to defend against any enemy forward here. You see Chuggles sending the knights forward. I think that's a good move. Trying to deal some damage while all of the crossbows are forward. Crossbows, they walk more slowly than archers. No, than knights, obviously. So if you send the knights forward and use the mobility to try and deal some damage, you should be in a good spot to deal some damage. But the quick stone gates here and the double palisades on every side here from Sithari keeps those knights out for now. Very consistent defensive play for Sithari in this one, as Mayans are usually played as well. That's unfortunately a free kill for Sithari right there. Here's the mangonels, but they are out of position. They are close to the archers. That's 2 mangonels down. Great value for Chuggles here going into the enemy siege like that. There is indeed a forward castle here now, going to contest this gold here of Chuggles. Not the end of the world, as another TC is going up here, and that Persian's boom is just going to be reinforced and extended here. Down almost 30 villagers here. Chuggles, sure, but with 4 TCs against still only 2 from the Mayans, you should be able to catch up with that with the 15% faster working TCs of Persians as well. This forward castle is going to be a pain to deal with for Chuggles, though. That renders the main goal off limits. Knights loop in here. I don't think they will be able to kill the builders in time, but let's see. No. That castle is going up. The Knight's mass is pretty decent for Chuggles now, though. It's 18 military, but the castle will go up. A few villagers will go down, but all in all, the castle goes up and denies the aggression there. And Mediocrity says, I think there's a 3rd TC down lower for Sithari. And you're right, so it's 3 TCs for the Mayans player as well. Still, it should be 4 Persians here, only utilizing 2, those mainly. Maybe more of a defensive measure against archers than for production here. 4 TCs operating right now, though, so I'll be paying a little bit of attention to the villager count here. Knights forward again. We'll try to break a house, but another castle, that's being denied. That's being denied for sure for Sithari here. And if the knights attack the foundation, they could even kill it and let that stone go to waste for Sithari here. Let's fight, trying for a surround here, Chuggles. I don't think there are enough knights in the mix. These army numbers are worrying now. It's 45 to 10, looking tough here for Chuggles. Will have to replenish all of this, and didn't have forging until now either. Has 3 stables at the ready to produce those, so that's going to help the numbers, but this castle could be built again now that there's no army to deny it anymore. 39 to 5 military. Mayans, eco being kept low and consistent here, but that's also because of the investment. Now even plumed archers into the mix for the raiding potential. They could hit and run more easily and hit this side, but there's a defensive castle from Chuggles as well, protecting stones and TCs here. Will limit any archers forward. Oh, there's an opening here. We could see some knight raids in by this TC now if Chuggles recognizes. Here come 6 knights, and again, going for the archer's approach, you're more vulnerable to raids than the more mobile civs are, because you can't just pull your army back just like that, like with cavalry. Unfortunately for Chuggles, the opening here gets plugged by a stone gate, and yet again the knights are not allowed to enter and raid. Plumed archers now looking for some pickups for this as well, but mind you that the Persian TCs working faster have caught up in villager numbers to some extent here now. Right now Chuggles is idling a little bit, but overall going from almost being 30 villagers down to now only 10 is pretty good. Mayans going into the plumed archers play here, securing the hills and securing some neutral golds. Feel like this will be tough for Persians to contest in the late game. What worries me the most is the actual army numbers though, is 52 to 17. It's arguably stronger army with mainly knights for Chuggles here, but you'd also need to keep the army collected in order to pick off archers numbers with that Persian's bonus. Some raids going on down here, so knights finally found a way in, probably over on this side, I guess, and idling Sithari a little bit here now. Only 5 villagers difference between the two now, and with the idle count, it's Chuggles in the effective villager lead here. Getting some good value from their raids here, from the idle time, maybe a kill here as well. But meanwhile, subject to archers forward at home and in desperate need of more knights here to deal with this chunk of 32 crossbows. So 64 to 21 military for now still. 10 villagers more for Sithari. And meanwhile the crossbows just trying to take out buildings here. Obviously no obsidian arrows yet, because this is taking quite a long while for these archers. And Chuggles is going to be the first to the Imperial Age. Pulls the knights away, will maybe try to get to Cavalier here before engaging against the crossbows. And Sithari actually far away from that Imperial Age click yet. We'll see a little bit of a surround here maybe, but here come the plume archers as well. Oh, and the numbers devastating here now for Chuggles knights, and Chuggles really can't afford to lose these knights now while going up to the Imperial Age, because it's such an expensive investment to go into the Imperial Age with 1000 food and 800 gold. That's effectively at least 10 knights worth of resources, probably more. So we'll see Imperial Age for Sithari as well, not that far behind after all, 50% later. We'll have 3 castles to produce trebs from, or even more plumed archers, and go into Elite, which doesn't cost gold for plumed archers, if I remember correctly. Knights in the back here, still waiting for those Imperial Age upgrades to be able to better challenge the armies of the enemy here, but looking at the mines, military numbers here, 71 to 18. And that's only archers for Sithari, except from three spearmen somewhere. So Imperial Age is in. Last armor upgrade is on the way as well for Chuggles. Cavalier is at 30%. Takes a good while to get to that, unfortunately, but that's 18 knights now against 29 crossbows. Imperial Age not in for Sithari yet, so I think it would be worthwhile to engage against these crossbows with these knights once the Imperial armor kicks in. Sithari takes the villager lead again by far now, though. Almost 20 villager lead. Did probably get some pickoffs up here, and is also having kind of a choke point towards the edge of the map here. Oh, and plumed archers raiding on this side. 43 plumed archers, not easy to deal with. You don't easily hit these with siege, unfortunately, because they are so quick to run and move around. And Woodline takes some devastating hits here. 113 to 83. That's a 330 villager lead for Sithari with a massive score lead as well. Although the KD is pretty similar, the overall eco and population should be more healthy for Sithari here, even with 1400 gold in the bank to take. Cavaliers clean up here though. That's the Persian's Cavalier with bonus attack against archers units. If you collect the Cavalier over here as well, you could take a good engagement against the plumed archers as well. This Treb looks like it would risk going down to plumed archers, but there are Cavaliers here to make sure that doesn't happen. Again, the overall army and population numbers worry me here. We have 179 population for Sithari against Chuggles 116. 61 to 25 overall is something that Sithari will use for whatever it's worth. Adding pikemen here as well now, that renders the cavaliers a lot less dangerous to the offensive here. Also with 4 trebs that will inevitably kill this castle, because there's only 2 trebs and 1 castle of 4 Chuggles here. No hoardings for any of them either. But yeah, this castle is a goner, as Halberdier is on the way for Sithari, and with the castle down it opens up for a lot more easier forward and push for the plumed archers of Sithari here. Now what's left is to deal with the Cavalier, and I think Sithari is exploiting the fact that Sithari here, the Chuggles here, is relying exclusively on cavalry to deal with the ranged units of Sithari. Chuggles calls the GG and will be going to Chuggles' home map next. Pretty even KD here, but the largest army being key here. 82 to 31 in the end. It's pretty much domination from one end here. Eco, pretty decent for the Persians actually, but it's still stronger for Mayans with longer lasting resources, notably the gold collection here. Never actually went into eagles here, but that wouldn't make sense against Cavalier either in any case, other than maybe for raiding potential. Uptimes somewhat similar. Scouts opening didn't really pay off, did get obstructed by the forward of Sithari, and Sithari kept the villager lead for the most part of the game as well, and this consistent flow of units here. So 1-0 for Sithari for now. We'll be going into the next one as soon as they have launched.